In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends and products creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we'll discuss the taxi pricing hearing that brings up the revenue shared by the driver and the taxi company in Beijing. Although it's been said since February that the Beijing taxis are going to raise prices, the price rise confirmation only just got confirmed by the Beijing Development and Reform Office. According to the local government, the starting fares will go up from $1.60 to $2.10, while the subsequent mileage charges have two proposals. One will increase from 32 cents to 37 cents, and the other one up to 42 cents. Beijing municipal government claimed that increasing the taxi fares would help solve the current difficulty in hailing a cab problem in Beijing. To approve any increase, the municipal government announced an emphasis to hold public price hearings before the price adjustment, which means to avoid public complaints. However, these so-called public hearings may not be so public as you might think. Phoenix TV once published a report that indicates the representatives in China's public hearings were actually pre-appointed industry representatives. Those representatives in this case usually are the executives of taxi drivers' parent companies or some experts who have nothing to do with the taxi industry. People whose interests actually related to these hearings, like the passengers and taxi drivers, never got a chance to take part in it. Besides the Phoenix TV report, we can still find related proof from the taxi pricing hearings held in Shenyang recently. This representative of the hearing has already fallen asleep. This is likely the result that the hearing has nothing to do with her interests. This may confuse the people. Can the representatives like her represent and act truly on behalf of the people attending the hearing? Interesting thing is, not only her, those so-called experts confuse people even more. One expert called Yao Tianchong has received a note from a consumer which wrote, quote, "Among these representatives, no taxi drivers and passengers, but only the executives of taxi companies and irrelevant experts, which seem like this hearing is to increase their incomes rather than the taxi drivers to me." Besides, should the consumers pay for the extra fees caused by traffic jams? However, the expert Yao definitely is not willing to speak on behalf of the consumers and taxi drivers in the hearing, with only one simple sentence of, "I agree with the price rising strategy." And then he leaves in a hurry. Another expert has a background from the Xi'an University, so the Shenyang government had to invite him to attend this hearing. However, it's been proven that this special expert, which cost Shenyang government lots of effort and money to invite, cannot speak for the passengers and the taxi drivers neither. He started with one sentence, quote, "Frankly speaking, I know nothing about the taxi industry's operations." In a hearing like this, those representatives usually got the rights to decide whether to raise the prices and how much should the rise be without parties attending. It makes people doubting the true intention behind the hearings. Some netizens ironically describe the BDRC as the BPRC, the Beijing Price Rising Commission. Quote, "The BDRC definitely should be called the BPRC, considering where there is a hearing, there is a price rising. If the BDRC really is concerned about the people's interests, cut down the taxi company's admission fees first." Some posters indicated, quote, "With or without the public hearing, we all know that there's only one decision, price rising. As for the processes, I think every Chinese person got it." Some netizens blamed the BDRC, quote, "The BDRC insists on rising the taxi prices would clearly add to the more economic burden on the consumers. To solve the difficulty in hailing a cab problem, besides the price rising, cut down the taxi company's mandatory fees would be a better and more efficient method." However, the BDRC would definitely not be willing to do this considering the profit of the monopolized taxi companies. I want to appeal to the BDRC that remember you serve the people and please do more good for the people. Each time there was a hearing, it always ended up with prices rising. Even the media had reported that over 50% of consumers were not willing to raise the prices. The decision was made by the minorities who attended the hearings. However, Beijing claimed that this time they will have 25 citizen representatives recommended by Beijing Consumers Association, the NPC members, and the CPPCC members. The detailed name list will be published 15 days after. And the decision this time will not be made by the representatives in the hearing, but the government after they verified the opinions provided by those representatives. How well these changes will go still remains to be seen.